It's official. Summer is here, and so many of you are looking to buy your first RV.
And this video is to help you pick the perfect RV.
I'm Trish and this is Mark, and we have been traveling North America for 1 year in this little bugger right here, Ginger.
Yep.
She is a 28-foot travel trailer, and we have had a blast.
Cheers to the road. Trish made these little, what are these? They're delicious. So,
here.
like, how about that? Huh? We're in Grants Pass. If you follow us on Instagram, you know that we're out in Grants Pass, right? Season 3 of Keep Your Daydream as we travel up to British Columbia. And if you're interested in weekly videos and you're new to the channel, then hit that subscribe button and join us.
Yes, we're making our way all the way up to British Columbia in season 3, and we are so excited you're here with us. And one, we want to just drop a little something on you in the beginning to stay tuned to the end. What is it?
We have a giveaway, and I told you we'd be doing more giveaways in season 3, but this one is legit, so you do not want to miss it, so stay to the end. But let's get to this topic, how to pick the perfect RV. But do you think the perfect RV even exists?
I think it's like the Loch Ness Monster, Bigfoot, Sasquatch. I don't know about you, but I think the perfect RV for us was the one that got us on the road.
That's right. Had we totally geeked out on the perfect rig, and we get these emails all the time, like, Mark, you're full-time, you've got a family of 5. Why don't you have an F-250, F-350 pulling a fifth wheel? That sounds pretty nice.
That
sounds pretty nice.
Thank you. Yes, good idea.
Here's the short answer. We'd probably still be at home right now, online, looking at those perfect rigs.
Yeah.
Instead, we already had the truck, and we said to ourselves, what can we do right now?
Yeah.
We didn't know how to start. We didn't know what we liked. We didn't know what we didn't like.
We knew nothing.
We knew nothing. And so we basically just got the biggest trailer we could possibly do with the truck that I already had to get started. Now, a year later, we have a lot of ideas, and I would say we know exactly what we want. But here's the really important part. The perfect rig for us now isn't delaying us getting started.
Yeah.
We could wait months to buy that perfect rig, and we're still doing it.
Yeah. We've been to Mexico, Canada, US, all while we're getting good ideas. But really, we're smushed up against each other in here, and we're still having fun.
Yeah.
So that's what we want to do for you today. Break down the top 10 questions you should be asking yourself when you're looking for the perfect rig.
And let's face it, it's overwhelming. You've got like triple axle diesel pushers. You've got Class A's, Class B's, Class C's, Super C's, fifth wheels, travel trailers, pop-ups. It's overwhelming, even picking the right type. And so I think these 10 questions that we're going to share with you now will help you kind of land on the right type of RV.
Whittle it down.
Whittle it down for you. All right, so here's the first question.
Numero uno.
Are you under your budget, or are you stretching?
Ooh, under or stretching. Okay, in the sailing world, which I think we need to pull from right now, they say that you should be about 20% under your budget. They call that the slush fund. And why? Because there's so many things that pop up unexpectedly.
Sure, you got repairs, but you could possibly have upgrades. When you get started, you're gonna say, well, I need this, and maybe we're gonna do solar, or maybe you're gonna change out your battery bank, or maybe you have an issue with a slide.
And then you're gonna get there, and you're gonna wanna do things, for heaven's sakes. I mean, look at this, we're on the Rogue River. You wanna go out, you wanna have adventures. I mean, that is why you're out. So if you can be 20% under your budget, I think that would be, but I think it's also important to know if you're stretching, because if you're stretching on the RV, that's just the beginning. And the last thing you want to do is be in a situation where you can't use it the way you wanted to, because or every time you think about it, you're like, you get like angry inside. Instead, you want to be out there, you want to be doing it, and you want to be having fun. Number 2, what do you plan on doing with your RV?
I think it's important to kind of really get in touch with this mental image that you have with RVing. Do you imagine yourself being at a super nice RV resort with all the amenities and all the services? Or is your mental image being like off the grid and like dry camping and having solitude? Getting in touch with your mental image on what you think RVing is going to be like is really important when you're picking a rig. Yes. Because if you have this idea that you're going to be like off the grid and secluded and all by yourself, and you're going for a triple axle Class A, like it's gonna be a little contradictory, right?
Yeah. Or maybe you're doing family trips and you want to bring all the kids' friends.
That's right.
Well, then maybe you need a place to stash all those kids. So
that's a good point. If your mental image, like, oh, this is great, the kids are going to invite their friends, we're going to go on this big trip together, Well,
how are you going to get everybody
then
there?
A travel trailer or fifth wheel is going to be, you're going to be in the cab, and so we can only fit 5 people in our cab, so we can't bring friends. But if we had a Class A or like a C,
everybody could be there with us.
Everybody could be there with us.
So yeah, ask yourself, what is it that I want to do with my RV?
Yeah. Okay, question number 3. Do you plan on being gone for like 2 days, 2 months, or 2 years?
Ooh, that is a big one. And I suppose if we knew we were going to be out for so long, we might have looked for different things.
That's true. We did make a decision based upon season 1 being 6 months, and then we were so like pleasantly surprised that we loved RVing.
Right. So you might want to ask yourself, hey, how long am I going to go out? Is this a huge adventure, or is this just something short? And so that also like lends with how quickly you can get it out of the driveway or storage or things like that. So that leads us to number 4. How last minute are your plans? Are you guys planning way in advance, or do you want your rig on the side of the house and you want to just go in a flash?
We know people that take these spontaneous trips. They're like, hey, and they get an idea and they want to go to Moab. If that's the case, maybe like a Class B is for you. If you're just a couple and you're like, hey, let's go. Doesn't require any planning whatsoever to just pop in your Class B or even a Class C and just hit the road.
Right. If you're in suburbia and you have all the room in the world and you just keep it on the side, or if it's stashed away in some kind of storage, or if you want to go and see cities, you know, how cool. We met a couple that had a Sprinter and they just go and dash into San Francisco and they check it all out and then they come back home into suburbia.
There's no towed, there's no like vehicle that they're towing, and so it's just kind of simple.
It's easy.
There's not a lot of hassle factor with those types of rigs.
Absolutely.
Okay, number 5. How long do you plan on traveling between distances?
Ooh, this is, do you want to go mentally insane or do you want to stay sane?
We like for instance, on season 3, we can't get more than 2 hours before we're at the next destination.
Oh my gosh, the West Coast is like every single hour there's something amazing.
Okay, that's important to understand because it's kind of a myth within RVing where people are like, oh my gosh, how could you drive that much? Here's the deal. We don't typically drive more than 2 hours, and we don't typically drive more than 2 times a week.
We've done 6-hour hauls, but nobody turns out in the end.
Yeah, no, everyone gets kind of grumpy. It gets kind of grumpy. But that's about 4 to 5 hours a week of driving.
Yeah.
It's not much.
That's not
and so when
much.
people are like, how do you guys do that in the cab of your truck? It's like, it's hardly any time at all. And so that's an important thing to consider. If you're not driving that long distances, you might not need all that luxury space in...
I mean, the number one question we get asked is, I mean, outside of budget and fifth wheel and all of that, one of the biggest questions that we get asked is, how come you didn't get a motorhome where you can be inside walking around, you can go to the bathroom, make lunch, da 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 da. Well, that's not necessarily what we needed because we were driving short distances.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, number 6, and this is important. Where are you guys going to store your rig? It depends, because are you going to have a huge rig that you can leave at a storage unit, or are you going to want it on the side of your house? We met someone recently that made like a little patio for their Airstream so they could back it in, and they use it as like a casita.
Some people like to have their RV on the side of the house. I don't blame them. I know a lot of people that just they like to have their stuff there, and they like to like tinker with it and make sure it's shiny and that kind of stuff. But you know, for us, we keep Ginger when we're home about 30-40 minutes away uncovered. And so a lot of times if you get covered RV storage, you could be looking at $250 a month for that type of storage.
And that's where are you stretching or are you under budget? That's where that comes in, because you forget about things like storage and the actual cost of running your rig.
Question 7. How much hassle are you willing to tolerate?
Okay, when you say that, it depends on how like into this you are, because you are super into boating. So when we were boaters, we would actually enjoy the process of cleaning up, and we'd just say goodbye to our friends and let them go on their merry way. And we actually liked the process.
Boating is like painting. A painter told me this. He said in order to paint, it's 1/3 prep, 1/3 painting, 1/3 cleanup.
Oh, I'm terrible at painting.
No, she just likes the 1/3 painting.
I do this and I go, well, that was fun. Would you like some lunch? I'll make you lunch.
Boating and maybe even RV is the same way. It's 1/3 setup, 1/3 RVing, 1/3 tear down.
Clean up, big time.
And so you kind of have to like all 3 of the parts.
Or at least divide and conquer.
Yeah. But how much hassle are you willing to tolerate? It doesn't matter what type of RV. A lot of people with these Class A's, they say, I just hit one button and everything's set up. It's like, okay, you're exaggerating just a little bit, right? I mean,
which I understand. We exaggerate. Oh, it's so easy. It's not easy.
Every type of RV has its own type of hassle. Now, travel trailers, fifth wheels, have a certain amount of hassle getting them set up and torn down. I particularly like it. It doesn't bother me. But you just have to kind of ask yourself, how do you picture RVing and what type of hassle are you willing to deal with?
I love cleaning the inside.
Yeah, sure she does.
I hate it. Okay, number 8. How long are you guys gonna own your rig? That's
question.
kind of important. And for us, of course, we said we were only gonna own it for a little while. We thought, we'll just do this for a little short stint.
And the same thing is true with other RVs. If you're gonna have it for a long time, then you might not have to worry too much about depreciation.
Well, we've run into a lot of people who have retired and they say, hey, this is my second home. Or maybe families that are in the throes of everything and they're like, this is what we're gonna do on vacations. So really ask yourself, how long am I gonna have this? Is this just a starter rig? Is this something that I'm gonna grow into or grow out of and I'm gonna move up? It's not as complicated as it seems, and you can sell your rig and move on.
And I think that goes back to how we started. Just get the rig to get you on the road to start learning how you're going to use it. And I think when it comes to your first rig, don't plan on having it for a long time. Just get started so you actually can start using it and know how you're going to use it. Okay, number 9. How long length of an RV is right for you? And the reason that this is important is, like, for instance, we don't make reservations at RV parks anymore. We just call on our way. And so Ginger's only 28 feet, so we can typically duck into most RV resorts
slide right in
last minute.
Yes.
National parks. We just got out of Joshua Tree National Park. Technically on record, national parks and state parks are going to be 35 feet or less.
In California, they're 30.
30. And so if you plan on doing a lot of RVing within state parks and national parks, length is going to be a factor. Availability in RV parks is a factor.
Curvy roads is a factor.
Curvy roads is a factor, and that type of stuff. But again, if you're the type of person that has this mental image of being in these really fancy, not even fancy, but just being at really well-equipped RV resorts, and they're in bigger places, you're not going to have any problems.
Right.
And we know a lot of people that have a Class A and a Toad. A Toad is a pull-behind car, and they go to the RV park, they disconnect their car, and they explore with their car.
Yeah.
And that's awesome. Whereas we tend to go, like, take Ginger, like, right downtown Chicago.
We're just going to drive through rush hour. Everything will be fine.
That's right. Okay, so anyway, length is a really important factor, just kind of, and what you're comfortable with.
Yeah, understand what you want to do, and I understand that's probably going to change over time as you get more and more comfortable, but know where you're kind of going. Mount Rushmore, Zion, these were 2 roads that we didn't even understand that we couldn't be over a certain length.
Yeah, the entire length had to be under 50 feet, or you had to go around Zion.
Yes.
And so luckily we called in advance where we got all the way to the tunnel, and then I guess they would have turned us around?
Turned us around.
I would have done a 16-point turn.
Come on, 1 second.
Okay, round it out with question number 10.
I forgot what it is. Okay, number 10, we're gonna bring it home and bring it full circle. What is the ideal RV that will get you started and on the road?
That's right.
And we talk about so many times here and in the podcast for Keep Your Daydream, you only get so many windows in life, certain opportunities, and even for
sorry.
You get certain windows, certain opportunities, certain times in your life, and we like to capture those moments because we know that next year Tori goes away to college. So when certain opportunities open up, you grab them, you steal them, you run like someone is chasing you.
We've been getting emails from people that say, hey, we're going to move from Maine to California, and my husband told their employer that he's not going to start for a month, and we're going to take that month and we're going to get an RV and we're going to go across the country in that month.
Yeah, so
that's a window.
Changing from one job to the next. So it's not all about full-time RV or just a complete life shift. It's, you know, taking those weekends, taking those times off, taking those transition times, taking a gap year for your kids. Something, if you are presented with an opportunity, even if it's a tiny crack in the door, you shove your whole body in there.
But with that in mind, we're not advocating to force the window or force the opportunity. When these opportunities present themselves, it's a great idea to capitalize on them. But another strategy is just to wait for that window to come rather than forcing it.
Right. You know, someone wrote in recently that said they have 4 years left in the military and then they'll receive all their benefits, but they'd love to full-time right now. Well, maybe full-timing right now isn't the right idea. Maybe it's just waiting out that time and then the window will come. We're just suggesting
just 4 more years.
Just four more years. It sounds like an eternity, but it's not when you see the rewards on the other side. So we're talking about using what you have when you have it so that you can go and make something happen.
And not getting stuck into the rabbit hole of picking the quintessential perfect RV that would have potentially left us at home for the entire last year online looking for the perfect rig. We got the not so perfect rig.
And she's done great.
And she's done great. You know,
we've done great.
We've had to give her a little makeover here and there. We've had to kind of like prune her up a little bit, but yeah.
She's done great. Just remember, get out there, go have fun, and make some memories, because This is awesome.
It is. It's fantastic. Okay, so let's get to this giveaway and what it is. All right. So, Wilson Electronics reached out to me.
Thank you, Wilson Electronics.
And they said, hey, we've just come up with an RV cell booster. Now, they've had this before. In fact, Ginger is already equipped with a cell boosting system from Weboost. But this is their latest and greatest RV cellular signal booster.
Oh my gosh, our boys only needed to see this part. They saw this come out of the box and they said, improved cell coverage, are you kidding? And they were super psyched. So
anyway,
you guys are too.
When they reached out, I said, hey, would you mind giving me a couple units so we can do a giveaway? They said, absolutely.
So let's go over this a little bit. We give these awesome giveaways to people who are patrons. So right now, how many patrons do we have?
We've got 123. 123.
So those patrons are going to be in the drawing. We're going to draw a number
next
1
week.
to 123 next week on the next video, and we will let you know who
if you're
won.
interested in getting in on that, you can go click that link and go check out the whole KYD Insider deal that we have going on. And of course, if you don't win, we actually have another one right here.
They gave us two to give away.
Our idea is to do a video very shortly on working remotely or something along those lines, because we get a lot of emails like, hey, I'd like to go full time, I'm interested in working remotely, how does that work, how does cell coverage work? So we'd like to do a video on how we manage our cell coverage and our plan, and I think that would be the perfect video to do a giveaway here. All right, so there you have it. That is some of the questions that we feel like you should be asking yourself if you're looking to pick the perfect RV for you.
So let us know if you have anything else that you've considered while you were looking for the perfect RV.
And we will see you guys here next week for the winner of the Weboost system. And also, if you're interested in the Weboost system, you can click this. You can click that link and pop over to our resources page, where you can go directly to the Weboost website. Okay, that is all we have. Eso es todo. We will see you guys next. Well, actually, we'll see you this weekend for Malibu Santa Barbara episode.
I think that's called the Boo. Okay, we were told it was called the Boo.
Absolutely.
So anyway, we can't wait to show you the beach and these gorgeous drone shots that Mark got. I cannot even wait. So anyway, thanks for joining us. As always, we love that you're here. See you later.
See ya.